Hello, CQ. Hello, CQ. CQ, the Old Friends Net. Time for the Tuesday edition of the Old Friends Get Together. This is W4MEC, your net control for today. Old Friends Net meets 3 times a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 a.m., Sundays at 5 p.m., always on the same frequency, 3715. And that's amplitude modulation only. And while we are centered on vintage gear, any rig that can generate an AM signal and its operator is welcome to join us. The old net's also carried out in the old-fashioned roundtable format. I will take check-ins a couple times throughout the net and make sure everybody's got a spot. So, for those wishing to participate today, please give W4MEC a call. Come now.
Good morning, Charlie. WA4LLR.
N4LQ.
ARK. WA4EVK.
K4GDN.
WB4NKL.
KG4IUQ.
KN4R.
Okay, so far we've got WA4LLR, N4LQ, WB4ARK, WA4EVK, K4GDN, WB4NKL, KG4IUQ, and KN4R. Anybody else for round number 1? Okay, got a short burst of carrier there, but nothing else. So anyway, one more time, our list in order is LLR, LQ, ARK, EVK, GDN, NKL, IUQ, and 4R. So just a pirate call there. Good morning, fellas. It's a balmy 53 degrees here and clear in Henderson County this morning. And not a whole lot going on. I've had a reprieve. I had a 2-day reprieve on taking my wife to the Y because the main pump is being replaced, motor and pump. And they said it's going to take 2 days to do that, so I have not had to wake up at the crack of dawn in order to take her to the Y. So I've actually been sleeping in. So that's a good. But tomorrow we start it all over again. And hopefully the vehicle will be completed soon. And she's actually going with friends to the beach here coming up Thursday. So Friday I won't have to take her, but back to work on Monday. And maybe the car will get done this weekend. She can take care of it herself. Over to Dave, WA4LLR in the group, W4MEC.
Okay, W4MEC and the old friends, WA4LLR, good morning to everybody. We've got about 53 degrees and clear skies here this morning. We had beautiful weather, but we are dry. We do need some rain. Running the Babcock MT5B this morning, listening on the RME 69, the old 1930 whatever receiver, and a little help from the SB220. So that's pretty much the conditions that prevail here today. So Steve, down to you, N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. I like that pirate call. So anybody that has a call that ends in R is a pirate. That's pretty good. We were talking about pirate ship and what a good deal they have. You can save money by shipping everything via pirateship.com and get a discount. But that's beside the point. It's 52 here in Shelby Skies are finally clear. We had a clear day yesterday after about a week of clouds. So we enjoyed sitting out on the deck and enjoying the sunshine, and just about got too hot. Had to come in. So back to wearing shorts and short sleeve shirts again. I'm running the 32V3 75A4 horizontal loop antenna. So, buddy, good morning to you, and let you take it. WB4ARK, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. Okay, Steve, very good signals on everybody this morning. The band is extremely quiet, and a little sideband chatter, but not much. Well, the temperature here is 55 degrees. Seems like whole area is in the 50s right now. Yesterday was a pretty nice day. It was on and off clouds yesterday. This morning it's coming up clear. So looks like we're in for another nice day. I don't think we're expecting any rain until possibly Sunday. So the drought continues. We're into a moderate drought right now, and I think it's going to get severe here very soon if we don't get some rain. So over to WA4EVK, WB4ARK.
WB4ARK in the group, WA4EVK. Sorry, Charlie, about the carrier. That was me and early morning clumsiness, let's say. Not too much here. Like Buddy said, it looks like a beautiful day here in Pickens. Not much going on. Steve, by the way, in case I forget, the data from the guy in Britain, I believe it's G3TXQ, is reproducible with the chunk test fixture. I don't know who the other author got his numbers, but they're like an old ARL article. The author's about the only one that can get them to work, I guess. With that, over to George. K4GDN to take it. WA4EVK.
WA4EVK and the old friends. This is K4GDN in Myrtle Beach. And it's in the low 60s here. We got some clouds, but it looks like it's clearing off, and the rain's going at least until the first part of next week. We got quite a bit. There's still some flooding going on, particularly down in south of us. Garden City, Merrill's Inlet, and Georgetown really got taken back bad last weekend. They had some places on Main Street were actually closed. Let's say I'm running the Drake 4B station here today. I'm tuned up for about, I guess 200 watts on the center fed dipole. And Steve, I would appreciate your comment on how I sounded last night on 160 with the dipole on the single wire position in the Tech. I taught both ends of the ladder line together on that single wire post. The noise level was at least S6 or S7, and then when I compared that listening on my butternut vertical, I didn't get any noise level indication at all, and I could hear anybody pretty well, but I'm afraid to try to load that thing up since it's only good for 80 meters, and it's coax fed. I don't like putting a lot of power on a coax fed antenna. Standing wave ratio or losses on the ladder line, no big deal, but with the coax, I don't want to chance it. Anyway, everybody seems to be coming in here very well this morning. Conditions seem to be really good here in Myrtle Beach. So with that, we'll pass it on to Cliff. WB4NKL, K4GDN.
LK4 GDN, it's WB4NKL. A great copy here today, George, and you're coming through real well. And I was copying you fine on, well, you were above the noise level on 160 last night. I could get what you were saying, but I think the conditions probably were improving when you signed out. Got 45 degrees here. Must be the cold spot. Sounds like supposed to warm up to 75, but jacket feels pretty good this morning. So dry here too. Didn't have to mow grass last week, and probably have to hit it again here one of these days, and maybe that'll finish it up. Except for all the leaf pickup that's going to have to go on here before long. They're dropping pretty good now. So send it on around. Go ahead, Mark. KG4 IUQ WB4NKL.
This is KG4 IUQ. Well, it's cool here. My thermometer appeared to say 46 degrees, but I hear everybody saying something in the 50s, so I'm gonna say what my cell phone says. It says 53 for Shelby, so I guess it's 53 degrees. I'm on the Night Kit T150. I'm listening with a multi-LMAC PMR8. I mowed some grass yesterday, had a good time outside, and it was really nice. I was able to practice some music here. I have a different work schedule, and it's been nice having a few days off every now and then. I'm going to send it over now to KN4R. Brian, this is KG4IUQ.
Okay, Mark, very good. KG4IUQ in the group. KN4R, well, good morning to everybody from the Pirate Station. Haven't been on the air much lately. It's a beautiful day over here today, no wind, and I've got a couple of things I need to paint this morning, so I'm going to do that. We had a good trip up to Rochester, New York, and but the leaves are falling and not much color at all, unfortunately. On the way back, we went to the Museum of Radio and Technology in Huntington, West Virginia, which is unbelievable. Most amount of stuff I've ever seen in one radio museum. And that's over near Ashland, where Steve was born. So, and we came back. We went to Ashland and then went south and kind of meandered through southern Kentucky, and then we cut back over and all that. So, anyway, we had a good trip. And so I'm on the Globe Champ and listening on the, what is this thing? SP600. So, up to you, Charlie. W4MEC in the group, KN4R.
Oh, very good. KN4R, W4MEC, and the old friends. Do we have any late check-ins that would like to join us? Come now. Carrier, no audio. Who's that? Okay, random signal perhaps. W4MEC and the old friends. Real good. Boy, I tell you, Dave, that Babcock is just audio on that. I cannot hold a candle to anything else. Or is that the other way around? Nothing can hold a candle to it, but it just sounds great. Let's see. We got here, yeah, the R thing. I did that one day. I had to call in a prescription to our drugstore here. We go to a family drugstore. It's been here forever. Know the druggist and all that kind of stuff. And I was calling it in. I said, I got a pirate order for you. And they said, what? And I gave them the 6-digit number and ended with R. And I went, R. So she cracked up on that. So it's a funny drugstore. It's got 2 Carol Anns in it, and it's not that big of a store. There's only about 4 women that work in there, and 2 of them are Carol Ann. So So one of them I know really well, and the other one just works in the store, so I always get them confused. So, but it's a great little store. What else we got here? Your T150 sounds good, Mark. It sounds, I don't know what you did, maybe change mic, but it does sound better than the first time you brought it up, and sounding good. So whatever you're doing to it, keep doing it. And yeah, drought. It hadn't rained here in a while. Well, last week, a week ago, we got rain. We got rain when we said we weren't supposed to get rain. We got a mist on one day, then rain, and then we got, what did I say, 3/8 of an inch the next and 3/4 of an inch on Wednesday. It hadn't done anything since, but it's always wet out in the morning. I don't know if Charlotte, if the dew is heavy enough to keep everything green, but it's the dew here is always wet enough to, you walk out there in shoes, you come back in with wet shoes, so it's always heavy here. I always figure that's what keeps everything percolating. And yeah, Brian, it's not, so far it's not real colorful here either. I got a big old maple tree here, and it's kind of dropping its leaves without really, there's a lot of green and a little bit of orangey to it, but it's usually it's a blaze, it's a big blaze of yellow and orange, the whole tree, but it's not doing it this year. So maybe the rain we got this fall has changed it a little bit, who knows. All right, so let's go around again with Dave, WA4LLR, and the group, W4MC.
All right, Charlie, and thanks for the signal report. W4MEC, WA4LLR. Well, I hope you get the car out of the garage shortly, and enjoy it when you check in with us on the Over the Hill gang. So maybe you can do that a little more often. Steve 32V sounds good, and yeah, buddy, I was looking at the forecast. It's saying the same for us. No rain till possibly Saturday night or Sunday. And yeah, it's it's really getting dry. But the grass has certainly slowed down. I've not mowed in at least a week and a half, I guess, maybe 2 weeks, and it's still not quite ready to mow. So I'm putting it off as long as possible. This may be the last mowing of the year, hopefully. Good morning to you, Boone. Sounding good up here today. And George, I hope you didn't get too much flooding where you are, and the Drake station's doing well. And Cliff, I guess you're the cold spot this morning at 45 degrees. Mark, your T150 sounds good. And Brian, glad you had a good trip. Glad you got to go to the museum, and Globe Champ's doing a good job for you today. Well, let's see. They're still expecting a CME impact sometime today. We'll see if that transpires. Sunspot count's 122. Solar flux index is 141, and the K is 2.67. A few items from this day in history. On this day in 1947, Mr. Chuck Yeager broke the sound barrier for the first time in the Bell X1. On this day in 1892, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes were published from Arthur Conan Doyle. On this day in 1944, German General Erwin Rommel died by suicide. On this day in 1962, and I sure remember this, Soviet missiles were photographed in Cuba, which brought on the Cuban Missile Crisis. On this day in 1964, Nikita Khrushchev was ousted as the premier of the Soviet Union. And here's one that's kind of interesting. On this day in 1912, Teddy Roosevelt was shot by a saloon owner named John Schrank, while greeting people in front of the hotel. He was shot with a .32 caliber bullet at close range, aimed directly at Roosevelt's heart. It failed to be a mortal wound because the bullet was slowed by a glasses case and a bundle of manuscript in his breast pocket. And when the guy was questioned on why he did it, his explanation was, any man looking for a third term ought to be shot. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
That's good reasons as any, I guess. N4LQ, well, that's something. Thanks for that information there, Dave. Charlie mentioned something about Dave's rig, and nobody could hold a candle to it with another rig, and I agree, the sound is excellent on that thing. But I kind of wondered about holding a candle to it and where that came from, because it doesn't really make any sense why you want to hold a candle to anything. So I looked it up and consulted the great AI. Well, the phrase originated back in the early 1600s in England, and it meant that an apprentice or an assistant would hold a candle to help the master craftsman see what he was doing. And to say that can't hold a candle to it meant that they weren't even qualified to perform the most menial support role. So it was a demeaning term that the assistant was not really worthy or capable of helping the expert do his work. But I wondered, what if that assistant had a 10,000 lumen flashlight like we have now? That might change things a little bit. Anyway, we had a good time last night on 160. I'd like to encourage everybody to drop by and say hello. And even George was there with his I didn't realize you were on a 10-tack, but you sounded good. You weren't real strong, but considering the distance, I'd say you're doing a pretty good job. And then we were able to copy you just fine there, George. No problem at all. And it's interesting that you were able to hear better on a vertical. And sometimes things are like that. Receiving is different than transmitting, and so sometimes I wonder that the vertical probably was not picking up static and noise from above, and maybe that's what was interfering with you. So you, in spite of the fact that it had less signal coming in, it was still not picking up that local racket there from the heavens. But then again, they're worse for picking up local line noise. So I don't know. It's hard to explain why things are as they are sometimes. Mark's sounding good on that T150. I like the sound of it. Sounded good on the 75A4 here, that's for sure. And Brian, welcome back from your trip to New York and Kentucky. Yeah, that museum in Huntington is really a big place, and I took my dad there. Well, I guess I wanted to see it more than he did, but gosh, that's been back a long time ago, probably in the 90s, and I really enjoyed it. It's a big place, and of course I don't remember too much about it. They probably have a website where you can see it. Brian's got some pictures I'm sure he'll share with us pretty soon. So back over to Buddy, WB4ARK, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. All right, well, all the signals are still holding very strong this morning. And the sun is getting bright as it comes up over the horizon. There's not a cloud in the sky to the west of us, so looks like a nice day is brewing. So, yeah, that term, hold a candle to it, that's very interesting. Reminds me of my first job that I procured when I was still in high school, and I think I owed a little bit of that, or getting the job, to my father. And the company I went to work for was one of the premier electrical contractors in Charlotte, called Interstate Electric. And my first job out on was to go out with the electrician, and many times we worked in dark areas where you needed some light. So I had to hold a flashlight on the subject that the electrician was working on. And I tell you, there is an art to that. I say there is probably a scant few that can do it correctly, because you got to keep the light right on the subject. And if the electrician moves over to another area, well, you need to move the light over to that area and not have the light blocked by his head or shoulders or whatever. My son, he has the inability to hold a flashlight on whatever I'm working on. The light is all over the place. Now, he's old. He's older, 50s, 50 years old, so he should have developed a knack for that by now. But it takes a knack to do that, and it takes a sharp person. So that said, we will move on. So let's see what anybody else has to say about that subject. WA4EVK, WB4ARK.
WB4ARK in the group, WA4EVK. Buddy, I have to agree with you on the assistant, helper, apprentice, whatever you want to call him, holding the flashlight. I think you almost have to have a guy that anticipates what the electrician or whoever is going to do next, and that implies a pretty good knowledge of the craft that you're performing. I know in the instrumentation work, working in panels, I've seen the time when the lead electrician or whatever was a little reluctant to promote the poor assistant because he was so good at helping, and that's a critical thing when you're on a oil rig offshore or something and weather's not good and so forth. A little help goes a long way. Mark, good signal, good audio on that T150. I'll have to say it's very good. And George, great signal in here today. Good to see you, or good to hear you last night, talk to you on the 160 net. And with that, I'm going to quit yakking and send it on over to you. K4GDN to take it, WA4EVK.
WA4EVK in the groups, K4GDN. Thanks everybody for the signal reports. I touched it on last night. What I was running last night was the Kidwood 590, about 20 watts to the Kidwood 922A. Getting about 300 watts out of that, and I was sending it to a 10-tank tutor, a 229 tutor. And I had both sides of the water line tied onto the single wire post of the tutor. And that put out about 300 watts, but that thing sure was noisy. It was S7 on the 590, and when I shipped over and switch over to the vertical, the noise level went down to nothing, and I could hear everybody fine with the vertical. The signal level didn't seem to be much different. It was mainly the noise level that was giving me such a fit. But anyway, and like I said, I don't want to try to lose that vertical because it's coax fed. I'm a little concerned about having high standing wave ratios with the coax fed antenna. Real high standing wave ratios. Anyway, everybody's coming in here very well. The band is in really great shape this morning. I'm not having trouble copying anybody, and the sideband chatter pretty much is, I'd have to even listen to see if it was there. So everybody's coming in quite well, and I was really kind of surprised with this business about the noise and the vertical. I've always had the vertical, always felt like the noise levels were always higher on the vertical, and I wondered if it was a thing about it being in-fed, you know, at a high voltage point rather than being center-fed like the dipole and current point. But anyway, be that as it may. Let me pass it on to Cliff. WB4NKL and Group K4GDN.
Yeah, K4GDN, it's WB4NKL. Okay, George, that's interesting. The noise was lower on the vertical. I wonder if it might be something local in your shack there that, I guess you got coax going out to the vertical, and you said you just had the other one tied to the tuner, so I wonder if it could be picking up something in the shack where it's not shielded. But I guess experiment around there and see. I want to echo what Steve, I called him yesterday. I had a package to ship, and I called him yesterday, and I was asking him about shipping, and he put me onto the pirate ship deal, and that is a good deal, because I'd called around, and there was a guy on QTH was wanting a Latine 6-meter rig. He's restoring one. He was needing a part set, and so I called around. It was going to cost around $50 if you just took the thing to ship. Guys up in Wisconsin, and I signed up with Pirate Ship after I talked to Steve, and it just cost $20, so less than half price. There, you're saving quite a bit of money. So if you need to ship something, I think that's the way to go, and it probably works on the U.S. mail instead of just taking it to the post office. Probably can get a break on that too. Go ahead and sign up with them. I guess I'll get out. I've got to take this package to Greenville's, my UPS pickup place, and I'll try to find a place to walk down that direction. Something different today. So say 73s and enjoyed it. Thanks for calling it, Charlie. Go ahead, Mark. KG4IUQ, WB4NKL.
This is KG4IUQ. Well, you take it easy, Cliff, and you're sounding good. I think that Charlie's sounding very strong over here. I believe I can pick him up on my stove in the kitchen. Very strong signal. And he mentions the sound of this T150. Steve changed a resistor location. He moved it from one place to another. And it seems like he seems to believe all these radios are different. And I think he's trying to make it have more of the what we call the carrier. When you press the mic button, there's a certain level output just before when it's modulated when you're talking, and he increased that a bit. And I've written it down what he did, and that's my secret what he did there. He'll have to tell you if you need to know. But the Dave is sounding very good, and he hasn't mowed in 1 to 2 weeks, and I've been mowing less, and that's very, very nice. I enjoy mowing the grass though. Steve is sounding good here, And Buddy, ARK, he's talking about his first job was with a company named Interstate Electric, and he saying that it's important to be able to hold a flashlight for people. That's what he was doing on that first job, I believe. And it reminds me of myself. I have to try to hold my own flashlight when I'm doing any kind of work on the radios. I try to get my wife to hold a flashlight every now and then, but she'll hold it a little bit, and then she'll say, "Can I go?" And I say, "Yeah." And I just have to kind of put the flashlight down on the table and roll it around until it begins to illuminate a little better, sometimes a little worse. GDN, K4GDN, George in Myrtle Beach is sounding good. He's talking about the vertical antenna. And Cliff, WB4NKL, sounds good. And Brian, KN4R, with the Pirate Station. I'm just joking. I'm a very serious type person. It's hard for me to even say something funny and not say that it's not really true. He's going to do some painting pretty soon. And he's going to take a trip to Rochester. He's on the Globe Champ transmitter today. I ordered some hats, some Irish caps yesterday. And oddly, the order was canceled. I ordered them through Walmart, an order that I had made some time ago, and it all appeared that the caps were going to be shipped to me, and later in the day they canceled the order, and I don't know why. I'm just speculating that it has something to do with tariffs, and I really don't know. I'm going to turn it over now to Brian, KN4R. This is KG4IUQ.
Okay, Mark. KG4IUQ in the group, KN4R. Very good. And Mark, your T150 sounds wonderful. And I'd like to know about the secret resistor relocation at some point. And let's see, Dave, great on the CME impact. We'll see. I'm glad you're using the RME 69. That's very cool. And okay on Pirate Ship. I've used it a couple of times. I should use it every time. And Buddy, okay on Interstate Electric and holding the flashlight. And I used to have to hold the flashlight for my father quite a bit, and I wasn't very good at it, but I learned, and I should teach that in tech school. And let's see, George, okay on rain around the coast. Your signal sounds really good today. And let's see, I mowed yesterday when I got home. It'd been over a week. And Steve, yes, I'll post pictures of the AWA meet up in Rochester, the contest. That's the best of the best, if you will. And also, I've got some pictures of the auction items before they were sold. But yeah, the Huntington, West Virginia Museum, it's in an old elementary school, and that school is packed. I mean, it's amazing. And they've got more stuff in the museum than Brown Beezer W1NZR has at his house, which is saying a lot. So if you ever get over there, southwestern West Virginia, right on the Kentucky line, definitely go see the museum. It's an unbelievable thing. So and most of it's been from donations. They're 501c3, and they have a real good rapport with the local broadcasters, and they've gotten a lot of donations from retired broadcasters, retired engineers, and just unbelievable. He won Best of Show at the Antique Wireless meet, which was, the theme was early television. He had a experimental RCA camera that ended up at one of the stations in Huntington, West Virginia. I think it was serial number 11, and just an amazing piece of gear. So anyway, I've rambled on. My guess, I'm going to go ahead and say 73s and get started for the day. I've enjoyed it. I hope everybody has a wonderful day and week. And back to you, Charlie. W4 MEC and the group KN4R 73s.
Okay, Brian, very good. KN4R and the old friends group. W4MEC. Do we have any late check-ins that would like to join us? Come now.
Can you hear me now? K3OS.
I got Gary. Anybody else? Gary, long time no hear. Go ahead and make a transmission and turn it back to me. K3OS, W4MEC.
Yeah, okay, Charlie. Hang on. Yeah, SWR is up a bit. But, yeah, good to be on. It would help if I turned the microphone, power up the power mic here, the D104. Yeah, fortunately, some of my noise is, a good portion of my noise is gone now for whatever reason, the power company and local neighbors, whatever. So I won't hold it long, just say good morning to everybody. Glad to be back on the air. I'm running the Gonset Twins here and had to rig up a little antenna tuner and some other stuff, but we'll get things going here and be back on hopefully a little bit more regularly. W4MEC, beautiful day down here in Hickory, K3OS, go ahead.
Okay, Gary, very good. K3OS, W4MEC. I was hoping you were considering whoever's in California moving them back here instead of you going out there. It'd be a lot easier on your ham station, I'll tell you. Yeah, anyway, let's see. Well, buddy, I guess you're glad that technology got to the point that your son was holding a flashlight, not a candle, or you had been covered in wax, slopping the candle around. I was dealing with some splatter coming from the group Up the Band and a station N4OSJ. Boy, he was broad and splattering on George some kind of bad there, and it didn't bother Cliff too much, but I could still hear it through there. And I heard N4UB on there. He was S9 plus, so up this way. So maybe the band conditions as the year goes along are improving, and he can come back and join us and not use can't hear us excuse. I don't know. So he had a good signal up here this morning. So let's see. Looking up the thing about the candle holding, I wonder if you used AI when you did that, or actually found an explanation, Wikipedia or something. But we were in, I was using AI yesterday just for the heck of it because I put a question into the search engine, and it brought back an answer, and one of them was AI generated. I said, well, let me go see what that says, and I clicked on it and read the answer, and it said, I was asking about the model number of the radio direction finder in the B-17 because I could rack in my brain. I could not remember what it was, and I was not about to go out to the garage and look at the one on the shelf and see what it is. So I asked the question, and it came back, and AI said that there were no RDFs assigned to a B-17. The navigation and bombing was completed by using radar. And I'm going, okay. All right, that's obviously incorrect. And Steve, you mentioned there was a way to tell him it was wrong, but I didn't see that option. So now our group historian for the plane had run into a similar situation about a thing with someone had posted that they had a ammo can for a B-17. Well, they were made out of wood, plywood, and this guy swore it came from a B-17 because he looked it up and he got the answer from AI that it was an ammo can from a B-17 ammo box. And he wrote back, Gerard wrote back and said, no, that's one from a B-29, and provided the provenance. He showed him a picture. He showed him the difference between a 29 ammo box and a 17 box, and, without a doubt that it was what he had was for a B-29, and and the guy insisted to the very end that Gerard was wrong and he was right, and it's a B-17 can't. And all that because AI told him it was. So there's an interesting issue there now with people that are going to believe AI as the be-all, end-all of an answer when in fact it's completely wrong, and will go to their grave believing that, apparently. So I don't know. AI might turn into a very bad way to revision or rewrite history in a most inaccurate term there way. So over to you, Dave. WA4LLR, W4MEC.
All righty. W4MEC, WA4LLR, and good morning to Gary. Yeah, sadly enough, most of us, when we do a Google search and we get the AI overview, we take it as gospel. And we've come to a time when it's hard to know what to believe, because used to, we looked everything up in the Encyclopedia Britannica or World Book, and most of that had been pretty much researched and vetted. But oh well, it's of course the Bible tells us that in these days there'd be a strong deception, and it's in just about every area that you look at. Let's see, holding a candle. Boy, I tell you, I know my kids years back, as they were growing up, me trying to get them to hold a light for me while I was doing something was, it'd be on it 1 second and then it would be up in the trees or something the next minute. So, Mark, you were talking about holding your own light. The answer to that is a LED headlamp. I remember Steve brought one to the old friends at a luncheon one time years back, and I said, I got to get me one of them. So I ordered one from Amazon, and that's the finest thing since sliced bread. A headband with an LED light strip on it, with variable intensity, and it also has a spotlight feature. So hands-free operation, and it's exactly where you're looking. So that's the way to go, or it has been for me, whether I'm working on repairing gas equipment or working on a radio or something. That's a lifesaver. And you don't spend your time yelling at whoever's supposed to be holding the light for you. I don't have much else, so I think I'm going to say 73 on this one and go in search of breakfast. But I've enjoyed it this morning. Charlie, thanks for calling it. 73, and God bless. Hope everybody has a great day, and Lord willing, we'll catch up with you Thursday morning. So, Steve, thanks for pointing me towards that light. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
Okay, Dave, N4LQ. Pointed you to the light. That's profound. Well, the last apprentice, and this was probably many years later, but the last one to hold a candle was working for an LP gas company, and that changed everything. Well, let's see. Yeah, the headband idea is really helpful, and I've got one that it's pretty bright on the front, but it's got a blinking red light on the back. And a couple of years ago, I was using that to take these long walks during the fall, and it'd get dark on me. I'd turn that blinker on, and the cars would slow down when they saw me. So that helped a lot. But now this new flashlight with the 10,000 lumens, it's got, I think it's 4 different positions, and you have to click through them to activate them. And the last one is SOS. It sends dit-dit-dit-da-da-da-dit-dit-dit. I don't know if anybody can copy that or not, but it's there. And I did find out a trick. Now there's a trick as far as not cycling through all those to turn it off. All you have to do is hold the button in for 4 seconds, and it'll go off. So that saves you a lot of button pushing. And Mark, I found it interesting you were talking about those Irish caps, and I always thought of them as just flat caps, but now I know what you're talking about now, and I like those. I've got one or two here. I used to wear them all the time when I had to walk from the parking lot to the bank where I worked. It was brutally cold up there in Louisville, and it was always good to have one that had ear flaps that came down. And one of them I had ear flaps that hung all the way down to your neck. It was kind of funny looking, but looked like a basset hound or something. Anyway, yeah, AI is definitely, you better know what you're talking about. When you ask AI a question, you better know a little bit about the subject. And if you suspect it's wrong, you can just tell it. You can say something like, "Are you sure about that?" Or, "I think you're dead wrong," or just tell it you think it's an absolute idiot. And you can't insult it. It just rolls off its shoulders. It doesn't matter. And it'll come back and it'll say, "Oh, I realize what you're asking now, and I'm very sorry." And it'll give you the right answer sometimes, because but it is kind of arrogant, because it always thinks it's right at first, and it never comes on there and says, "Well, I think maybe this is it, see what you think." No, it'll come across as being the gospel until you narrow it down, and you got to drill it just a little bit. So with that, buddy, WB4ARK, and I guess I'll go ahead and 73 out of here too. This is N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. Well, I don't put much stock in AI. I've said this before. And you know you're supposed to walk facing the traffic. In other words, walk in the direction that the traffic is coming from. That way you can see what the car approaching you is doing. Anyhow, I'm going to say 73 too. Get out of here. It's getting a little bit strange here this morning now. WA4EVK, WB4ARK.
WB4ARK and the group WA4EVK. Well, Steve, I'm glad you enlightened us there on holding a candle. I always thought it was something to do with candling eggs. Didn't ever heard it a lot, but didn't ever think much of it enough to look it up, and I should have. One of the things that gets thrown around in your youth, and you learn, and you don't, it becomes such a part of everyday life or whatever, you don't really think about it. Charlie, thanks for holding the net. I really appreciated being able to get in here this morning. And with that, I'm going to sign and say 73s. Got some interesting stuff going on here with a old Drake chassis that I need to look at and either move out of here or put to use. So with that, hand it over to George. K4GDN, WA4EVK is clear.
WA4EVK in the groups, K4GDN. 73, everybody's checked out. I think I'll do that this time too. And Charlie, thanks for calling the net. Man, conditions really have been pretty good. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this, the changes with the solar climate here coming up shortly. Anyway, 73 again. Charlie, thanks for calling the net. Look forward to being again here on Thursday. So. turn it to Mark. KG4IUQ, K4GDN. 73, guys.
Thank you very much. This is KG4IUQ. Let's see here. Well, Dave is talking about the LED headlamp, and I think that's a good idea. I need to get me one of them. I've used them before. I think mostly it's just a matter of not being prepared. I just don't have one right now. There was also mentioning a situation with it's difficult to know what is true and what is not true when you're considering information that we have available via the internet, and I believe that too. I think it's a very serious situation. My mother actually mentions wanting to keep her encyclopedias, the printed encyclopedias, because she feels that, I don't know, we'll just say for political reasons, people might try to change what is believed to be history, and it's all printed up in the printed pages of an encyclopedia, so it's proof that something existed. And I spoke to a man about a week and a half ago. He believes that even the Kindle, the digital book, can be edited easily, whereas a printed paper is, you can't just make what was on the page vanish, you know. And he even said that he stopped using a Kindle because of it. And I believe that it can happen. I believe people redefine the meanings of things. They're doing it right now. It happens. I don't really like to go into what I believe because people create confusion about what things mean, you know. And I believe that can happen. I've been working on music, Christmas music, having a good time with that, learning a song for singing and playing on the classical guitar. I have a singer, female singer. We're going to do this Angels We Have Heard on High. And there's In the Garden, the Christian song, usually very popular. And also we're going to do a song, not a Christmas song, but it's by Chris Christopherson, Why Me Lord, and it sounds pretty good. But I don't use a classical guitar for that. I use a kind of a Macaferry gypsy jazz steel string guitar for that, but we're not sounding like gypsy jazz with it. I'm going to say 73. And I'm going to get off of here and say that it's been a pleasure being on the net this morning. I'm not sure who comes next, but I'm going to say that I'll send it over to Brian, KN4R. We'll see. This is KG4IUQ.
No, he left. Gary, are you still there?
Yeah, I think so. I'll just say 73 to everybody. As I say, good to be back on the air. Good to have conditions, at least here at the house, that we can do that. One quick comment. You know, AI is based on, if you take on the research on on what it finds. And how many times it finds it, all of that stuff. So if the information out there is not great, then that's what's going to happen. Well, we've all found that to be true, but at least it's a starting point, and you can go. It might give you some. Sometimes it gives you some references, and you can go check them and do all that. But you got to do it. To take it as gospel is kind of very difficult. 73s, Charlie, over to you. We'll catch you again. W4MEC, K3OS.
Okay, Gary, K3OS and the old friends W4MEC. Real good. And Dave, I'll continue to try to make the over the hill gang there in the morning, but the timing, all depends on the timing of when my wife leaves and when I get back, and do the best I can there. They talk about the needing someone to hold a light or having a headband light on there. I always thought it was funny that the bulbs on the Weller solder gun, the bigger ones have got two and the other ones have got one, and it seemed like every time you actually needed it, the tip of the gun shielded the light from the bulb, and you really couldn't see what you were soldering. And that cap, is that called a trilby? Is that the type of cap it is? I was picturing the cap you see the English guys sitting in an MG, an old school MG, driving around with that cap on there with a little tiny bill. So curious about that one. And walking against the traffic. I tell you what, around here we got some very narrow roads with hardly anywhere to walk, and people are out there wearing black pants and a dark coat or a black coat, walking with the traffic, and you get blasted by those LED headlights coming the other way, and you do not see those people, and I'm amazed no one's gotten killed. So, and to finish off, Buddy said he's leaving because it's a little strange around here. Well, I hate to tell you, Buddy, it's always a little strange on the old Friends Net. So, fellas, thanks for checking in this morning. Hope you can make it to 1864 tonight. And if any of you got 6 meters, keep Boone company, as I won't be able to make the net tonight. We'll see you on Thursday. Y'all have a good rest of the week. 7-3. Thanks for showing up. It's W4MEC, shutting down the old Friends Net. Bye-bye.